What's going on, YouTube? What's going on? Sombra del Piso here. I have a smile on my face, but I'm always smiling. That's really the truth of the matter. I'm always smiling. One of the subscribers, one of the members of the La Liga de Sombras Discord server, basically brought up something that I should talk about with you guys. And the thing that I'm going to talk about today, we're going to rediscuss the Chosen Ones, right? What exactly is a Chosen One? Who is that? Is that some made-up concept? Is that some sort of personality trait that introverts use to deal with the world and how they are perceived in the world by people that do not share their personality traits? No, absolutely not. No, it's not. I already explained in a previous video what a Chosen One is. What we are, essentially, we're just sort of genetically gifted, right? Not by the idea of this false god, the Demiurge, but by the one that has created the Demiurge, the one that sort of implements its will upon the entirety of the cosmos, the Monad, right? So us handpicked, us sort of massaged and caressed Chosen Ones are sort of rejected by the world, marginalized from social activities. We'd have friends, we'd have good connections and relationship with our family members, right? As per everyone else, right? We sort of come into this world a little latent, right? With latent abilities to grow and develop into these Chosen Ones. But eventually things change. You get older and you learn about the true nature of the world. These relationships that you developed and fostered with your loved ones, family members, so on and so forth, will change abruptly without any explanation most of the time, which is very, very damaging to the psyche of a lot of these Chosen Ones, a lot of us Chosen Ones. It's just something, honestly, that I've gotten used to, and most likely you're gonna have to get used to in order to truly flourish with your own light in this world. So, Chosen Ones, marginalized by society, denied professional opportunity. You will probably be at in a line of work that's sort of out of the way, not able to be, to influence other people, because the powers that be, these, fruity little apron-wearing, symbol-sharing Freemasons, who are the governors and orchestrators of a lot of the systems and events in the world, are seeing to it over time that we do not flourish, we don't become successful. But most importantly, they are seeing to it that we do not influence any other person, any other groups of individual, in order to ruin years of planning on their part within the course of a few months or a year, or a shorter period of time than the amount of time that they put into these corny, occultic, clandestine projects, right? That's not really a brief explanation of Freemasons and Chosen Ones, but that's an explanation nonetheless. The reason why I brought up the Chosen Ones is because today we're going to talk about the Chosen Ones and how the new frontier of this eternal, perpetual, ongoing battle with good versus evil is going to now shift to the internet. It's going to now shift through the various social mediums. Like I said, there's an eternal battle between good and evil. The new frontier is the internet, the various social mediums, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. These plateaus, these areas of battle, are where the spoils of war, when victory is achieved, will be obtained. The spoils of war being the minds of the individuals that tune into the internet that are not necessarily part of, the symbol-wearing, apron-wearing Freemasons, right? And whatever other occultic group, some subsects of that group are around and in operation. There is a history. Since the inception of these things, you could even see it with, if you remember, I don't know for the guys that are from America, from the US, the election, Obama's election. So how Barack Obama was elected was he utilized, he was like the dark horse, essentially, in the entirety of the campaign. He utilized the nascent social mediums of the time in order to bolster and reinforce and broadcast his campaign. He used Facebook a lot. By the way, Barack Obama was the president that used the most advertising dollars out of any other candidate at the time, in terms of, to get out his message, to boost and bolster his candidacy. Social mediums are definitely utilized now to influence groups of people, to broadcast ways of life very, very easily. And these aforementioned clandestine I don't like Freemasons because it's just, I think my thing is this. If you are some sort of clandestine secret group that has like symbols and you dancing all over the place, and you basically are withholding that secret information, right? That's, by the way, very easily accessible via the internet in order to maintain control over people that are ignorant, not by their own volition. I think that's completely lame. I think that's completely stupid. And anyone who joins those groups are dumb as well, because they could just, like I said, look at these symbols and these things over the internet. These Freemasons, these groups, these clandestine secret groups are using this information to, and the internet, to influence a sort of way of life. It's not cool to be in a relationship, a long relationship. It's not cool to be celibate. Not consistently be operating at 150%, which isn't possible. You know, they want to keep us drug-addled, caffeine-riddled, alcohol-ridden, all of that stuff. They want to keep us on these things in order to make us more malleable and controllable. They are broadcasting unrealistic goals having to do with beauty, right? What qualifies as intelligent. You don't necessarily need to challenge an argument with facts, but rather a louder voice. If a louder voice can drown out the previous argument, then the previous argument, no matter how sound it is in facts and logic, they're the losers. They basically broadcast degrading music. I'm in a Colombian establishment right now. Let me just show you guys what we're dealing with. I'm in a Colombian establishment right now. I already told you guys earlier, if you saw my video when I was going to this Colombian party, how I feel about Karol G. Karol G, that's an example, is basically, she's Colombian, I think she's from Medellin, right? Which is the city of choice, everyone's going to Medellin. What she is, essentially, is a Trojan horse. Oh, tú puedes ponerlo acá. Gracias. She's some Trojan horse for all of the mentalities, ways of thinking, ways of consumption, and ways of interaction with people of the opposite sex, people of the same sex, of America, of the West, straight into Colombia and influencing all the other people in the little pueblos into that same way of thinking that she, like, you know, that it's actually better for Colombia, when it's actually not. You're just slowly but surely turning it into another America, which is done for anyway. I like the Alcolíricos, right? These are this rap group from Aranjuez, which is like this neighborhood in Medellin. These guys, they're 100 times better than Karol G. I think they should be promoted way more than her. But of course, you know, sex and low vibrational content and bassist behavior wins above lyricism and enlightenment any day of the week. That's my example of degrading music, right? Being pushed onto the masses all around the world. America, China, Korea, Japan, South America, how they influence how we should interact with people of the opposite sex. This is all getting controlled and broadcasted by these lame, apron-wearing Freemasons and their subsidiary groups that operate under different names and supposedly different pretenses. Because of this inundation of this type of information on the internet, we have, you know, this is Karol G, right? We got these NLE Choppa and all these silly artists, right, that are not talking about anything truth, anything pure, anything of light, anything of ascension. The budding chosen ones, the ones that have not sort of fell into their power yet, they are now understanding, they're heeding their call, a call to evolve, to influence, to join the battle, to join the fray in this eternal war against the denizens of shadows, of evil. Or if you are a chosen one, right, where you'll know that you're a chosen one, your energy speaks for you, you found the practice of semen retention, and you've seen how it's bolstering your life, most likely the people within your immediate vicinity, friends of yours, perhaps even your parents, your siblings, they are most likely Freemasons or part of that group. Trust me on this. It's probably the same for me as well, most likely. They try to keep a loved one within your vicinity in order for you to divulge information to, because you know, we have to talk, right? We have to talk to someone, and these people are consistently building a file on you, and they are giving it to their superiors, through which the superiors are creating some sort of plot in order to place in front of you. You run into these things on your path, and you believe that it is some sort of strike of fate, These numbers that are in your vicinity are, of course, part of destiny, when in fact these are all very, very manufactured attempts at controlling your life and your perceptions. In order for the chosen ones to truly compete and to truly retaliate is to be themselves online, broadcast the ways of life, to broadcast the ways of freedom and true goodness and compassion on these various social media platforms in order to seize the day all around the world, right? I believe that I've been looking on YouTube. We have the various chosen ones that are coming online, like me, honestly, like the Sombra del Piso channel. What I do is a little bit of a blend of a lot of things. Not only I talk about men's health through celibacy, expressing yourself completely, and I talk about my travels. I talk about various video games that tend to be metaphysical, that have metaphysical allusions. There are other YouTubers that are also talking about these things as well. Or talking about things in that same sort of realm, but in their own idiosyncratic ways. There's a really good YouTuber I've been following, Backpack Jack, in the waves, in the storm on YouTube of so many content creators showing Colombia in a very licentious, in a very sex-focused, basis level way. This guy, Backpack Jack, is showing Colombia in a completely different light. He's been traveling South America, but he hasn't been doing that for sex tourism. He's been going to these forests. I think there was this one where he was in Nicaragua and he was talking to this homeless person about his life in Nicaragua and how the homeless person was, of course, naturally very poor, and he'd be lucky enough to go home with a US dollar. And I teared up there when I was watching it, just because the fact that he was doing something like that, Backpack Jack, like he's just getting up close and personal with the people, as opposed to all that content online of people traveling to South America and just basically putting women on display. They're people as well, even if they're not in the same economic group, which ultimately is manufactured and manipulated by said Freemasons. They are still people at the end of the day. They're trapped here, right, by the demiurge, just as we are, and they don't deserve any less opportunity than us. My point is, we have the chosen ones that are serving as beacons. They're serving as examples, lighthouses of shining examples to how people should conduct themselves on YouTube, on the social media space, right, on YouTube. Working for someone else is never going to bring you true freedom, right? These people, remember, they're ultimately part of the system. They're trying to employ you for way less than your worth, and you are sort of sticking on this little lifeline in order to maintain your life here. We're here, we gotta make the most of it. We're gonna try to influence people to ascend and go back to that dimension that we once were, and find ways to not ever return here, because this place sucks. The conclusion is this. I reckon I'm one of these chosen ones naturally. I know I'm one. I've been marginalized by my friend group, isolated all the time. I can't tell you how many times I had relationships going one way and then suddenly they go south, or they go west, east, whichever direction, which is different from the direction where I was currently standing in regards to the relationship. I've had people that just outright hated me. People bump into me on the street. People don't even respond to me when I'm nice to them. That's only because of what I am, my soul, what I am. I'm one of the chosen ones, the ones that are marginalized from society, but has this innate duty to try to usher society, or the people that are left, that could still listen to reason, right, to ascend. I had my personal life, my professional life sabotaged. You know how many jobs I've lost? You know how many jobs I was fired from? It was only because I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's really it. Wrong place, wrong time, which, remember, the situation is manipulated and manufactured by the little number color worshipers. Newsflash to the rest of you that are also experiencing this. This is going to continue to happen as long as you live. You're going to continue to be isolated by your friend groups. You're going to continue to be marginalized by the rest of your peers, the people that have 10 fingers just like you. This is just life. And unless you practice the trait of detachment, which is what the Buddha has taught, that we always try to reference Buddha and all with all these other things, like, oh, he smoked weed, which are just sort of reducing the significance of such a powerful paragon to something very basis, instead of actually talking about the Noble Eightfold Path and a lot of the other things that he stood for. The Buddha always talks about detachment, separating yourself from this place. I'm not being paranoid or anything, but this is just due to my observations of the outside world in response to how I carry myself in a very neutral fashion, you know? Well, leaning more on the compassionate side, you know, I'll hold the train door open for you if I see someone running down the stairs, or help a senior citizen carry their cart down the stairs. You are consistently going to receive this backlash from society. This is just naturally what's going to happen. And when you feel at your absolute lowest, which is going to be a lot of the time, emotionally, I want to urge you, right, in this conclusion, I want to urge you to stop sharing your innermost thoughts with some of the people around you. I'm going to repeat that. Stop. I want you to refrain. Please refrain from sharing your innermost thoughts and emotions about the world around you to the people that seemingly are on the same vibration as you. A lot of the time, these are Freemasons or sects of the Freemason group. What do you call them? Freemasons, right? Most likely they are sent from these places in order to gauge where you are on a vibrational level, match that, infiltrate and receive information from you, where they will then transmit it to someone else, right? One of their superiors that has a bigger apron than they do, to try to manufacture situations for your life. This is what they do. These guys are using information that's archaic and ancient, far before we were born, far before they were born. But remember, they joined the group, a little social group. They get to drink beers and make fun of people that are less ascended than they are, because they're not drinking as much child blood as they are. They receive this information and then they use that to control the ignorant. That's what they do. All these groups do that. You are a chosen one, right? And you are not ignored. If you want to join a group of like-minded individuals, please consider joining the La Liga de Sombras. We have a couple individuals that are subscribed to the channel as well, that are speaking and conversing with each other about their different experiences in life, whether that be through semen retention, thinking about going on semen retention, whichever. I am interested in creating and fostering a space where we can actually speak about these things. I am of no group. I do not wear any jewelry, right, or any charms of that matter, no stones, diamonds, gold, none of that. There is no financial interest of manipulating you guys into joining this group or having you guys join this group. I am not part of a Freemason group. I'm of the very, very strong belief that it's like what Tyler the Creator was talking about in the past when he was like, oh, if you jerk the F word, if you are a grown individual joining secret societies, right, trying to get information and manipulating the ignorant, you are an F word. Full stop. Dead serious. You are an F word, and I will have no sympathy for you. That's as simple as that. That is corny and it's lame, and it's actually very, very weak of you. They're not trying to better themselves, really. They're just in some little clubhouse where they have access to information that other people don't have access to, so they can just manipulate them. That's corny as hell. Final thoughts. Final thoughts. Feel free to comment on this. If you don't even want to make the big step in joining La Liga de Sombras, in the server, feel free to comment on the page and talk about your personal experiences as a chosen one, or if you believe that you're a chosen one, and what are the various experiences that led you to believe that you are part of that group. Feel free to share that information, and I will try my best and do my utmost to answer those with promptly. With that being said, stay radiant and never let this place get you down, because like I said, this place is it's not real. Like, it's a fake, false reality that we were stolen and pushed into in order to live a less experienced events thereof, to scar our soul, to prevent us from returning to where we're originally belong, because the false god of this reality is a very lame and corny individual that likes to utilize his strength only due to the ignorance of his competitors. corny. Anyway, stay radiant. Don't let this world get you down. I'll see you guys in the next one.